Unc Rye show from beautiful Southside Muncie, Indiana. On today's show, I am going to be sharing how to make Al Capone spaghetti. This one is quick and it is definitely delicious. You cannot get enough, that's what I say. And matter of fact, pretty hungry. Just went for a walk a little bit ago and put in a few miles, so worked up an appetite, definitely ready to polish off some spaghetti. So, what we need to make this, not a whole lot. We need just about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. So, a little vegetable oil, need some salt, need some black pepper, all the better if you can crush it. And we want some extra virgin olive oil. And then, of course, we're going to need spaghetti, obviously. So, a very important ingredient in Al Capone spaghetti. Then, a couple other odds and ends here. We need about between a quarter and a half a cup of walnuts that we will crush in a bit. We need a quarter to half a cup of Parmesan. I have shredded here, and we kind of like that better in our sauce, but if you prefer, you can also have just regular grated Parmesan. That will work fine too. And then we want to get some fresh parsley. And so what you do is you get about a quarter to half a cup of that also, and you just simply pluck those off the ends and put that right in your sauce that we'll make here in a little bit. Not required, but nice to have some chopped tomatoes or tomato wedges for a side garnish. And even though I don't have it on display here, also not a bad idea to throw in some garlic bread to kind of soak up the olive oil and the like. So, with that all said, let's take our big pan, turn our oven up to about medium-high heat, grab some water. Alright, got the water, some of that good Muncie water, got that on the stove. Now I'm going to move a couple of things over here so they don't catch on fire. And I'm going to put in just about a tablespoon of vegetable oil in there. I'm obviously estimating, but it doesn't have to be exact. Just about a tablespoon worth. And then I am going to put in about a teaspoon of salt, which is about like that. And then we're going to let that come to a boil, and then we'll put our spaghetti in. One thing I'll point out before I switch the camera so I can show you what I'm doing with the rest of the ingredients is that when you make spaghetti, I want to open this box here. When you make spaghetti, what you can put in your hand about like that, see how I'm doing like that? What you can put in your hand about like that, that is about a serving. So, you know, just throw that out there, something that might help you decide how much raw spaghetti to put in. So we will go ahead and let that heat up, and once that heats up, then switch the camera around over here. I'm going to show you what I actually do with the ingredients to make everything else. Alright, our water's coming to a nice boil, so we're ready to throw in some spaghetti, and this should take about 8 to 9 minutes to cook. So let me get some of this out, kind of measure it. That might be a little on the high side, but I'm kind of extra hungry, so toss that in there. That'll boil down in a minute. I might even throw in an extra little piece or two, just a little more since I'm extra hungry. Throw that in there. Spaghetti will soften up and fall down in the pot here in a minute. We'll let that boil for about 8 minutes or so, and when that's done boiling, I'm going to click back on here and change the camera to show you the proper way to use one of these, because a lot of people use it the wrong way and I want to use it the right way. Alright, the spaghetti is done cooking. Now I'm going to show you what I was talking about a minute ago, the proper way to use one of these. What I want to point out, I'm going to turn the stove off. Spaghetti's boiling away, so I want to be careful I don't spill that. That would be very bad. Anyways, a lot of people want to pour it through like this. So have it pointed that way and pour the water through. That is a bad idea. What you do is you turn it that way, like that. And so I don't want to spill any of this, but you turn it like that. Alright? So, when I do that, and pour that out, I think from this angle it's a little bit hard to see, unfortunately, but I'm pouring it like that, okay? Not like that. Don't pour it through it. Use this to sort of fence it in, like that. Then, when you're done, when you've got all the water drained out of it, then you can put the spaghetti in there, and a little bit of water drains out like that. Then you can set that inside the pan, like that. And then what you want to do is set that down over here, and you will take a little bit of olive oil, not necessarily part of the recipe, but you would just sprinkle a little of that on there like that. And then you'd kick it up a little bit with the fork, and the reason you do that is so that it keeps the noodles from sticking together. So that'll make a nice, oops, there we go, make a nice plate of spaghetti with that. So now I'm going to switch back to the stove and show you how to actually make the sauce, which is really the secret, not the spaghetti. Alright, now that we have the spaghetti prep, let's go ahead and work on the last few steps. We're going to actually make the sauce now. And to do that, I am going to put this on low, and I mean as low as it will go. So we want that very, very low. We're going to warm up some olive oil, but we don't want to get it so hot that we're deep frying our ingredients. Anything but that. It's actually, but just to warm it up. So I'm going to pour in 1 cup of olive oil. And I think I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure, but what I'm making here is enough for about 2 servings, so you can adjust the ingredients if you need to move those up. Next thing I'm doing is peeling 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to put those in the olive oil. I believe that I may have failed to mention the garlic, and that is a critical step, so I hope that I did not leave that off of the ingredients list, but if I did, well, you know now. So take that, we're going to chop that garlic up and into small pieces, and then I will probably crush it with the fork as well, just to kind of unlock a little more of the flavor. I don't know though, maybe just pieces of garlic like that will be fine too. So there's that. Okay, there's that. Slice that all up like that, and I like lots of garlic, which I've mentioned on other shows about other things. So I put in probably more than other people might. So, anyways, there's all that. Chop that one, has a little bit of a spot. Leave that out. There's that. Alright, so now we have our garlic. Just getting warm. Just warm. That's all we want. Definitely not boiling hot. So, deep fried garlic and walnuts are not what we want. We want warmed up garlic and walnuts. So, got that ready. I'm going to dump that in the olive oil. Hopefully we don't hear it sizzling. We do not. Okay. We're good there. Now we're going to take our walnuts, and yes, those are walnuts. Walnuts and garlic do not go together in any way that I could think of, except for some magical way in this sauce, because to me, walnuts have nothing to do with garlic at all, and the thought of walnuts and garlic in any dish together seems very unusual to me. So anyways, take our walnuts, dump those out like this, we're going to crush them like this, and once we have those crushed up fairly small, we will dump those in as well. I'm kind of making a mess, but usually if you're really cooking something good, things get a little messy. Alright, so take that, and have some parsley stuck on my spoon here. Alright, we're going to stir that up and let that just warm up. Definitely don't want to get carried away. Just getting warm. Okay, perfect. So that's going to warm up, and that will take maybe 2 or 3 minutes to warm that up. We want to kind of give the chance for the ingredients just to simmer in together just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and do a quick spin and be right back. Alright, getting close now. You can see I cleaned up some of my mess right here. And I'm going to stir this. Also, I dropped a piece of parsley in there, so we're going to add parsley anyways in just a minute. But if you saw that back there, that's what that is. So, if I scoop these up and look at them, I want to get to the point where the garlic is starting to brown just a bit, kind of like the walnuts. And so, that's getting real close. I think we're good enough to move on to the next step. The next step is to simply take our parsley, dump that right in, and you want to be sure that your oil is warm, but not so warm that that starts in sizzling or anything like that. It's easy to make that mistake when you cook it, and we don't want deep fried parsley. So I know I mentioned that a minute ago, but we also don't want deep fried spaghetti. So I got my spaghetti from earlier. We're going to take that. I might have made just a little too much. I'm not sure. But I think we're good there. I'm going to take that, stir that up, and it smells just delicious right there, for sure. I'll keep stirring that up real good, get it all mixed in. I'm making a mess like usual, but that's okay. So instead we're getting that all mixed in really good there. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so that's getting really close. We'll let that go for just another minute or two to get that nice and hot. Again, not too hot. We don't want it to be boiling, but we're going to get it good and warm. So I'm going to let that go for just a minute, grab a plate, and be ready to start serving some up. Alright, I think we're just about ready to go on that. Nice and hot, smelling delicious. Now we just need to toss that on a plate. Maybe put in a little garlic bread with that, and then sprinkle in some Parmesan and some pepper. We'll be all set. So, might be making a mess here a little bit. I want to be sure to get in there, get my fair share of the ingredients that are in there. I'm definitely going to make a mess. Here we go. Alright, got that all in there like that. Looking very tasty. Maybe just a tiny bit more. Go. Alright, see lots of garlic and walnuts in there along with my parsley. Looks absolutely delicious. Now I'm going to take my Parmesan and put on quite a lot for me personally. Almost perfect. Throw a little bit of ground black pepper on there. My hands are greasy. There we go. Alright, now that we have this giant pile of spaghetti all cooked up with nice hunk of garlic bread and some nice garnish of tomatoes on the side, it's time to dig in and give this a test. Lots of wonderful olive oil just dripping off of that, and that definitely makes it delicious. That is wonderful, wonderful spaghetti. Fantastic dish, definitely check this one out.